Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to HA After Dark. And thank you so very much for tuning in later in the evening. And we have a lot to talk about. In fact, this will be discussed tomorrow. It's interesting. There's so much, like, in addition to ham radios that Nellie Orr used. I mean, in this day and age, you have everything from like voice recognition software where you could find out like who someone is, like where they live, just from voice recognition software, or a ham radio circumventing the NSA. It's just unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, the technology that we have and had, and how technology just, I guess, converges, or I guess opposes. Different eras of technology oppose one another. And so it's like, if you go back to the old school, like Nellie Orr, to try to circumvent the NSA spying on her, she gets a ham radio. Then when you're Hillary Clinton, you use a server outside the United States government. Then, it's interesting. Like, it's just 205 people 1 minute in. There's so much. You go ahead and you type in something on Amazon, and it's like you suddenly you get emails from. You're like, what? Wait a second. Oh, it's because I bought this on Amazon. Okay. And then Facebook. Let's not get into Facebook. But it's just interesting. So last segment, I did this whole thing on Nellie Orr and how she used a ham radio to circumvent, almost certainly to circumvent, being spied on or surveilled. And then you have people indicted who were not Russian hackers, but who conspired with Russian hackers. The actual people who said to hack the DNC are nowhere to be found. Isn't that interesting? And now, ladies and gentlemen, to my super chat, thank you so very, very much. House Intelligence Committee chairman declared that Hillary Clinton's campaign colluded with nearly every top official in the DOJ, and she still lost the election. Isn't that sad? How is it that she still lost the election? How is that even possible? How is it possible that she had everybody at the FBI cover up her crimes? She had complete and utter media collusion. CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, New York Times, over hundreds of newspapers around the country. She still lost. She still lost. She committed crimes, ladies and gentlemen. She will be charged. And the journalists and the editors and the people who were like, oh my God, H.A. Goodman's so crazy. Oh, they're going to pretend that they too realize she was a crook. She makes Nixon look like, Mother Teresa. Hillary Clinton committed crimes Trump did not. There isn't even a predicate crime for what Trump is said to have done. And let's go ahead. And so Devin Nunes, Clinton campaign colluded with nearly every top official at the DOJ and FBI. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Washington Examiner. Let me go ahead and give this to you. 320 people, just a couple minutes in. It's going to be a good live stream. So that's the article. And I'll read you. House Intelligence Committee Chairman Devin Nunes declared Sunday that Hillary Clinton campaign colluded with nearly every top official in the Justice Department and FBI. An interview on Fox News had turned to the topic of the Trump dossier. Author Christopher Steele and his ties to Bruce Orr, a high-level DOJ official who fed the FBI information from the ex-British spy even after he was cut as a source for providing confidential information to the media. First of all, if the tables were turned, could you imagine a fake news dossier written about Hillary Clinton? They would immediately say, "Where's the evidence?" Which is what they tried to do with William D. Campbell. They said, "Oh my God, well, he didn't have any evidence. He was just an FBI informant." Yeah, he was actually an FBI informant in good standing. Christopher Steele was not an FBI informant. He was outsourced by Fusion GPS, who was outsourced by Hillary Clinton, who also utilized the Steele dossier. And they funneled money through the Clinton's preferred law firm to pay for the Fusion GPS dossier, which was both unclassified, yet used for a classified investigation. How does that work? Can somebody tell me how that works? Elizabeth Luker, how's my favorite cyber boyfriend? How's my favorite cyber boyfriend doing tonight? I hope you are well, HA. Thank you, Elizabeth Luker. Thank you, Elizabeth Luker. Thank you. Doing great. Doing great. This is going to be talked about tomorrow. David Kaplan. No one was going to know because Trump had zero chance of winning. Now an outsider has all the evidence needed to prosecute them. Absolutely. I'd like to ask you, Elizabeth, and David, and everybody here is, how is it possible that you have the Steele dossier? You have a Steele dossier that was both unclassified, published by BuzzFeed, and BuzzFeed eventually sued the DNC, is suing the DNC, present tense, suing because it's getting sued and it needs information from the DNC. The DNC is refusing to give. How is it possible that it's both unclassified and the investigation around it is classified? Unclassified and the investigation around it is classified. So there you go. It's insane. The dossier published last year by BuzzFeed contains unverified claims about Russians having information on President Trump that could be used as leverage. Republican investigators are concerned the FBI had deceived a foreign intelligence surveillance court when it used information from the dossier without disclosing its Democratic benefactors to gain the authority to spy on one-time Trump campaign aide Carter Page. Clinton's campaign, as well as the Democratic National Committee, retained Fusion GPS's anti-Trump research through October 2016, when it was initially funded, then dropped by the Washington Free Beacon. But the thing is, the Washington Free Beacon had nothing to do with the fake news dossier. That was all Clinton, all the time, 100% DNC. It wasn't like the Free Beacon was like, oh, well, we're going to go ahead and start this dossier. No, it was like, okay, we're out. We have nothing to do with you. And then Clinton said, oh, I'll take this over. And by the way, let's go ahead and purchase a dossier. So Nunes, representing California, blamed the media for largely ignoring the revelations surrounding the origins of the federal investigation into possible collusion. Possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia, and stressing the American people need to know. It called for a declassification. Trump campaign, and stressing that the American people need to know, called for the declassification of unprecedented amount of information. Orr, who was the fourth highest ranking official of the Justice Department, will testify before the House Judiciary Committee on August 28th to answer why he had 60 plus contacts with dossier author Christopher Steele. 60 plus contacts. 60 plus contacts. Lum. They never thought she would lose. Exactly. That's really what it was. But Lum, they had an insurance policy, so they never thought she would lose. But just in case, you don't think you're going to get hit by a truck, but you have life insurance. So just in case, they had an insurance policy. Loud citizen, truly a delicious irony. They lied. They knew they'd win. They lost instead. Now Trump has the power. Loud citizen, you've said it better than I could. So, Lum Lum, you are 100% right. They never thought they could win. But they lost. And guess who got us into a whole bunch of different conflicts around the world, including countries starting with Y? Barack, Nobel Peace Prize winning President Obama. But so I'll continue reading. Orr, who was the fourth highest ranking official in the Justice Department, will testify before the House Judiciary Committee on August 28th to answer why he had 60 contacts with dossier author Christopher Steele as far back as January 2016. Trump himself has condemned the media for not covering Orr more, using it as yet another avenue to label Special Counsel Robert Mueller's investigation a witch hunt. The big story that the fake news media refuses to report is lowlife Christopher Steele many meetings with Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr and his beautiful wife, Nellie. By the way, Trump is an ogre madman for being mean to women, but then he focuses too much on their appearance. According to the New York Times, the guy can't win. The guy cannot win. So he says, beautiful wife, Nellie, oh my God, the sky is falling. And the New York Times condemned him for that. Why did you call Nellie and Lisa Page beautiful? Why, you ogre, you mean, horrible human being? It was Fusion GPS that hired Steele to write the phony and discredited dossier paid for by crooked Hillary and the DNC. He's right. He's right. He is right. I mean, there's nothing that he hasn't said that it's not right. The big story that, okay, so do you believe Nellie worked for Fusion? Her husband still works for the Department of Justice. I have never seen anything so rigged in my life. Our AG is scared stiff and missing in action. It's all starting to be revealed. Not pretty. IG reports soon. Witch hunt. That's so awesome. And people are like, oh my gosh, she's so boorish. He's so just, oh, I can't stand his personality. That's why millions of people love, like, respect, find him amusing. If you don't find Trump amusing, you're taking yourself too seriously. And you're thinking that that President Obama told the truth all the time. President Obama was one of the biggest liars in American history. He lied about not knowing about the server. He lied about Hillary being the most qualified candidate. Loud citizen, the farm animals are wagging their tails tonight. Yes. Loud citizen. There's a whole bunch of things that President Obama lied about. Lied about Trump-Russia collusion. A whole bunch of things. But Trump also warned on Saturday that he may have to get involved if the FBI doesn't provide conservative watchdog group Judicial Watch and others with text messages of former Deputy FBI Director Andrew McCabe, whom he accused of harboring a bias against him. Well, of course, they all did. It's not a matter of a bias, ladies and gentlemen, okay? Here's what's stupid about all of this. It's not a matter of a bias. Everyone has a bias about everything. If you have a viewpoint, you have a bias. Nobody is completely objective, especially not about politics. The difference between attempting or trying to be objective and pure unadulterated hatred is that whereas everyone has a bias about pretty much every controversial topic or every serious topic, some kind of bias, some kind of viewpoint, you cannot hate something or someone and then be completely and utterly objective. Ain't going to happen. It doesn't matter what the topic is. Everyone is influenced by their own experiences in life, and we all see things in terms of reality and, what's in front of us. And we all can agree on most things, but there are a lot of topics that you might disagree with me on that I might disagree with you on. And it's based on either our experiences or what we've learned, or maybe a difference in our value system. But even though you and I are on the same side, we still are not the same person. To say that Peter Strzok was not biased against Trump is the stupidest thing in the world. Of course he was biased against Trump. He hated him. He hated Trump voters. He hated the notion, the thought of Trump being president. So what he did was conspire against Trump. He didn't have to. The way President Obama's administration worked, and the way smart politicians work, is that they don't write letters to, like, oh, by the way, do this. Tell Nellie Orr to use a ham radio. This way the NSA can't, tell Hillary Clinton not to say that I knew of her server. Okay. Tell Uranium One or the guy who owned Uranium One that I'm going to hook him up. Here's a letter in writing. And if that letter existed, it's deleted now within the 30,000 yoga emails. The way smart politicians do things is that they wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here's the philosophy of our team. You don't uphold the philosophy, you're out. General Michael Flynn was the Defense Intelligence Agency chief under President Obama. He did not uphold the philosophy, and he then left. He was then forced out. If you do uphold the philosophy of a political organization or of a corporation, you stay and you move up. If you're a yes man like John Brennan or whatever, you move up. Bruce, when what's his name was being Gomerized, when Peter Strzok was being Gomerized, he was looking and smiling, and he was just enjoying the time. That's what he was used to in life. That's how he moved up to number 2 in counterintelligence. His boss, Bill Priestap, probably went ahead and berated him, and then Comey berated Priestap, and the poop flows downhill in every organization. So it's not like, basically what I'm trying to say is President Obama and Hillary Clinton didn't have to say, hey, do this for me. Hey, Peter Strzok, go ahead and delete references to gross negligence. Hillary hides behind also a value system. So when they're not overtly covering up her crimes, people who think that she's the lesser evil will help her out. Peter Strzok and Lisa Page might not have been completely I'm with her people, but they wanted her to win. And that's the bias. In Strzok's case, he hated Trump. And then in Andrew McCabe's case, Terry McAuliffe gave his wife close to $700,000. In James Comey's case, it was, well, I'm friends with Mueller, and President Obama hired me. And if I want a job or money or speaking engagements after the election, well, who do you think's going to hire me? Fox or CNN, MSNBC, Washington Post, all the different universities? Ryan Couture, is Bernie turning into a Dem hack? Surprised at some recent statements. He's a Democratic hack at this point. It hurts me to say. I know I have one or a number of hardcore Bernie Sanders supporters still watching, and I love you all, but he's a hack. Hurts me to say, ladies and gentlemen, I've written over 100 articles that went viral. My articles went viral, ladies and gentlemen, not to toot my own horn or whatever, like no big deal. But I had hundreds of thousands of shares and hundreds of thousands of likes for each of those articles. And one article in particular was like, what, 700,000 Facebook likes. The Washington Post reached out to me. People wrote hit pieces on me. Thank you, GTO Mama. Thank you. Alexander M. Gonzalez, Bernie is playing politics from the woods. Alexander M. Gonzalez, you are the man, and I respect you 100%. I'm interested to see, hopefully you watch this channel past 2020. I'm interested to see, Alexander, if you become a jaded, angry, 40-plus-year-old man like H.A. Goodman, or if you keep your idealism in the face of a man in Bernie Sanders who continually fails to represent. I just want people to represent for me. That's all. Just represent. If you don't represent, I'm not down with you. Elizabeth Luker, many alphabet agencies need to go bye-bye. Bye-bye. Starting with DOE. Unleash and free our children's minds. Thank you, Elizabeth Luker. Thank you, Elizabeth Luker. You know, I want, like, Elizabeth Luker, I know we talked about Alabama, like Crimson Tide or whatever. Crimson Tide or, oh, I believe you said your husband was an Auburn fan. So, you know, when Auburn and, so like, Alexander M. Gonzalez, it's not just Auburn and Alabama. It's SC UCLA. It's you know, whatever, any rivalry, Raiders, Broncos, whatever, Colts or Celtics, Lakers, whatever. Okay, in a rivalry, each side represents. You don't. At least sometimes people are traded. Like, yeah, Red Sox, Yankees, fine. But it's not like an Auburn Tiger is going to change his jersey right there. Well, like Cam Newton when he's playing for Auburn, or Bo Jackson or Charles Barkley when playing basketball is going to suddenly say, "Oh, I'm going to be Alabama now. I'm going to be Crimson Tide." Let me just go ahead, and it's like, what are you talking about? You can't do that. You can't do that. And they take it really seriously in Alabama, really seriously. The hatred is actually even way more than what I'm used to. Alexander M. Gonzalez, I will remember your prediction. God bless you. I will remember your prediction. And one of us is going to learn something. It might be me. But I will remember your prediction. Thank you. But you don't go ahead and Rhonda. So you don't suddenly see, like, I mean, this is how hardcore it is. Alabama and Auburn, and I'm gonna get to the Bernie point in a second, but Auburn, man, was it Alabama? Auburn, Alabama tree. Someone poisoned a tree. Okay, even that doesn't happen. We just destroy statues and stuff. 5 years ago, one Alabama man took the Iron Bowl rivalry with Auburn too far. Poisoned. An herbicide used to kill trees was discovered after the Tigers had won the national championship in 2011. So the unthinkable act. So went ahead. It was discovered the oak tree had become ill, poisoned, in fact. An herbicide used to kill trees was discovered after the Tigers had won. So this oak tree that's been there forever was murdered, killed, which sucks because, you know, it's a beautiful tree. I think it's there for a long time. Decades and decades. Anyway, the point is, what's the point? People take things so seriously. Elizabeth Luker, there's no greater rival than Iron Bowl. Yes, Elizabeth Luker. So my point, though, is like, it gets so crazy between Auburn and Alabama that, I mean, you have people poisoning trees. Okay, that's how crazy it is. And then Bernie just gets cheated and then kisses the ring. Why do that? I'm reading. Why do that? That's what gets me. That's what gets me. So long, drawn out point as always, and he didn't represent, and that's why his movement is slowly being destroyed. It's turning into a movement that could be seen in a toilet bowl, which is the blue wave. That's the movements we're seeing now. The movement ending up in the blue wave toilet bowl. But this is Devin Nunes. So this is Devin Nunes. Check this out. Fox News.
Welcome back. We're back with the chairman. Christopher Steele. So once Christopher Steele was terminated as a source for doing all things like talking to the media at the behest of Glenn Simpson. So remember, he was working for Glenn Simpson, Fusion GPS, who were working for the Clinton campaign. Christopher Steele was fired. A lot of this information wasn't shared with the FISA court, especially the fact that Christopher Steele was desperate that Donald Trump not become president. After that happened, Bruce Orr, one of the top lawyers in the Department of Justice, kept continually meeting and providing information from Christopher Steele to who? The FBI. This is just madness. The American people need to know it.
So Christopher Steele's fired from the FBI. Again, Christopher Steele's fired from the FBI. Again, Christopher Steele, the guy who wrote the Fusion GPS paid for dossier that BuzzFeed is now suing the DNC to get information to corroborate because it's being sued, was fired from the FBI. And Bruce Orr then still met with Christopher Steele and then relayed information to the FBI. Brilliant.
And I will tell you, like I said in the last segment, the fact that the media is ignoring this is even more of a reason that we're going to have more information than usual declassified. We're going to have, I think, an unprecedented amount of information declassified because the media is just not covering this topic. And I'll just kind of close it with this. Don't forget that Bruce Orr's wife, Nellie Orr, who also will have to be interviewed soon, she also was working for Fusion GPS, working for the Clinton campaign. So here you have information flowing from the Clinton campaign, from the Russians, likely I believe was handed directly from Russian propaganda arms to the Clinton campaign, fed into the top levels of the FBI and Department of Justice to open up a counterintelligence investigation.
So I am waiting. See, I'm impatient. That's why I'm not a billionaire. That's why I'm not president. That's why I'll never be president and very likely never be a billionaire. I'm impatient. I found Trump at this moment, declassify everything, fire Mueller, declassify, just show the American public everything. But he's taking his sweet time. He's taking his sweet time. The guy's taking his sweet time. If Trump was cheated, and he wasn't, but if someone goes and tries to attack Trump is the type of guy that would like just wants to gnaw at the guy's face. Like Trump is like just a boa constrictor that slowly. Who was it that said revenge is best served at any cold, hot, it doesn't matter. So it's like Trump just waits. And one thing I like about Trump, and this is, look, I love, like my origins are on the left. I loved Bernie Sanders, but the reason I loved Bernie Sanders, I thought he would represent. He didn't represent. And I thought he would change the system. You know he's changing the system slowly. That doesn't mean he's not part of the system. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Trump's part of the system, you know. Trump's part of the system. Yeah, you know who hates Trump? Max Boot, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Hillary Clinton, and Don Lemon. When CNN, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and Hillary Clinton hate Trump, I like them. And he might not be completely out of the mainstream, but he fights and he's changing the system. And if I can't get Bernie to change the system, then I want Trump to change the system. Elizabeth Luker, this entire thing has become a... I still think everyone needs to invest in I'm wearing some right now, actually. These fools are going to need diapers and are stupid. Elizabeth Luker, yes. I like that. Loud Citizen, HA, full dossier is public. Are we analyzing it? The full dossier is public, but we need to declassify everything around it. The dossier is not classified. The whole cover-up is classified. That's the problem. Elizabeth Luker, they have Depends, and you know what? At this point right now, Hillary's probably wearing 2 or 3. So is Bill. But they also don't care. Like, see, this is the thing. When I say that Hillary will be indicted, and people are like, she's never going to be indicted, you know. She will be. But, like, also the thing, she doesn't care. I'm not certain that she'll ever see a day in jail. But I am pretty certain, I'm virtually certain she will be indicted. I don't have an oracle into the future. I haven't been right about everything, but I've been right about a lot. Tony Podesta is now federal criminal investigation. Clinton lost the election. Whatever. The whole thing's heating up before midterms. I'll be right about the midterms also. Remember that H told you. Toggle of Bailgun. Before we remove a duly elected president, everything should be declassified. And I do mean everything. I agree 100% with you. Elizabeth and Toggle of Bailgun, I agree with you both. But see, Trump, he's like perhaps savoring all of this. Trump possesses a great deal of intuition. He has a good amount of intuition. Instead of screaming Russia, why do they not look into the content of the emails? David, are you talking about Clinton's emails or the emails from the FBI to the Justice Department to Clinton? So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, like the deleted emails or the emails that she hid? Hillary? David, I completely agree with you. That any of the emails that are classified should be looked into. Declassified tomorrow. David Kaplan. Thank you, David. Thank you as always, David Kaplan. A Sojourner, you need to start uploading your vids on other platforms like BitChute, Gab. So I have a BitChute. So I have a BitChute. It's over 3,500. It's on its way to 4,000 on BitChute. And my buddy Sticks X and Hammer has been a big force in getting my BitChute going. So Sticks, thank you. I've been singing the praises of Sticks X and Hammer when I had more subs than him, which is crazy because he's on his way to 300 subs. It's 300,000. He'll be at 1 million subs. Sticks will be at 1 million subs in like a year and a half, less than that. So it's a pretty powerful force on YouTube. 100,000, 116,000. I have a little voice. 1 million? You're rolling 300,000. What he has right now, that's strong, very strong, very strong. Hey, Sojourner, you're right. Don't think your resident trolls won't get you deplatformed. Everything I do is pretty vanilla and YouTube policies. I'm also in touch with YouTube all the time regarding questions and stuff, and so I'm like overly well, Eric H, I'm like overly cautious, but Eric H526, I call the regulator. Eric, thank you so much for always your support, everything. So Eric is called the regulator. He regulates. It's the bare chest. When Hillary gets indicted, shirt off, leather jacket, it's on. Julio Yu, Kim.com tweeted, buy gold to Bitcoin. He was right about Hillary. Thank you, Julio Yu. I like Kim.com a lot. It's water. Julio Yu. Thank you. Thank you. I like Kim.com a lot. And so let's continue this.
Into a political campaign that has now polluted nearly every top official at the DOJ and FBI over the course of the last couple of years.
Well, that is what is so
Absolutely
extraordinary.
And quite frankly, it's what you kind of see in this part of the world where I'm at now.
Right. I mean, the president has said maybe he would declassify this. What's wrong with declassifying all of this information so the American people understand exactly what took place? Because you're right, this is an incredible story, and that is why we are doing it every Sunday morning to make sure the American people are informed as far as what went on. Do you think the president will declassify this so that people understand what took place?
I think he really has no choice because I will tell you, you're gonna end up with a situation with half of America, including nearly every Republican member of Congress, who will have zero confidence in the Department of Justice and FBI.
So I do think that the Department of Justice and the FBI and Trump, I think that right now, Sessions is just waiting for the Office of Professional Responsibility at the FBI to make a decision regarding Strzok and McCabe and Comey. Well, they made a decision regarding McCabe, but Comey. So he's not going to indict McCabe until they go ahead. So Julio, thank you, Julio. He's not going to indict McCabe until the DOJ right now is looking into James Comey's leaked memos. 4 of the 7 were classified. Thank you, everyone, for your kind words. So it's like it's all out there. And, you know, it's all out there. It's just a matter of time. That's why I'm not president. That's why, you know, it's just would be the type of person to be impatient. But you need political capital. You need political will. And I'm reading the live chat. It's awesome. What you need is all of these things to like, you know, layers of an onion, just peeling the layers of an onion. What you need is all of this to slowly be exposed, which it is being exposed. And that's what Trump is waiting for. That's what Sessions very likely is waiting for. Sessions is slow as molasses. Becky Pamplin, what's ironic is that we already know what happened. We just have to wait for all the dominoes to start falling. Exactly. You said it better than I could. Becky Pamplin, you said it better than I could. We know what happened. We know everything. We know that the DNC almost certainly wasn't hacked. We know that CrowdStrike was the only company outside the U.S. government, the only entity to look at the servers. We know they were too scared, too frightened to show their servers, all 100 plus, to the United States government, but they wanted the government to go ahead and implement sanctions and defend them and all that stuff. We know they cheated Bernie Sanders and $200 million from his voters. Jared Beck, Nico House, and Elizabeth Beck, 3 people waging a war against the DNC. And oh, by the way, how disgusting and evil is the DNC? They're suing WikiLeaks. They're suing WikiLeaks. The day they decided to sue WikiLeaks, I became an overt official Trump supporter, and I think the other day they sent they like sent WikiLeaks a lawsuit. And it was like, what are you suing for? You're suing because you actually committed a crime in defrauding your voters, and they're going to lose in the midterms. And it's going to be beautiful. And then when that happens, Becky Pamplin, you're 100% right. And when that happens, they are going to descend upon Bernie voters. One person said, I hate the Green Party with the power of 1,000 suns. Hold on. Where is that tweet? Where is that amazing, amazing? Hold on. Oh man, I can't find it. One person said, I hate the Green Party with the power of 1,000 suns or 100 suns, something like that. It's so funny. And, you know, I mean, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with really, really angry people, and there's not going to be a blue wave. Freedom, 132209101. Eric the Regulator. Young Guns, 1 and 2 are my favorite movies. Anywho's, if you had to imagine someone naked, would it be would it be Jeff Sessions? It would be actually Sessions. I do sleep in the nude. It would be Sessions, just to be respectful of the other two. Freedom 132209101. Thank you for that fantastic question and the fantastic vision in my mind. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. Elizabeth Luker. Q told us long ago, majority of public would be in disbelief. Takes time, dots and Qs. Elizabeth, I love you. Casey Smith and they walk. I love you, Elizabeth, but I do not believe in the letter, and I think it's very, very dangerous. In fact, recently somebody did something horrible, and they said, "Oh, Q," and then Q. They're using Q to like make fun of people, which I think it's a very, very dangerous thing. I urge everyone not to believe in a message board. But Elizabeth Luker, thank you so very much. You are awesome. And okay, hold on one second. Let me just go ahead and. This live chat is off the hook. Okay, so I had to go ahead. I read something that wasn't appropriate. So, Elizabeth, I love you. Thank you so very, very much as always. Just something I feel. I think that the message board is very, very dangerous, that nobody should listen to it. David Kaplan. Rather than trying to discredit the so dangerous Q, why do they not look into 900 posts for validity? Because it's very easy to write to. Oh, the open-ended questions are tailored along with the emotional polls, patriots, trust the plan, drain the swamp. All these. It's an overt scheme to manipulate people, and it's already being like a lot of things have taken place on the down low, or not down low, on the cyber front. Because the thing is, it's not like I think they predicted a whole bunch of things specifically. You know, Clinton getting indicted at a specific time, but it never happened. I don't give specific times, but I say, look, here's the issue. It's going to take place. If anything, I mean, Q probably watched my channel and then fabricated a whole bunch of things and said, oh, okay, let me just manipulate people. Or in addition to my channel, a whole bunch of channels. But David Kaplan, that's what I think. with all due respect to David and Elizabeth and everybody. It's dangerous because it's a message board and they're open-ended questions. And with an open-ended question, you could be right all the time. Just remember tomorrow. Fusion. What is fusion? Ah? And then Fusion GPS. He was right. So thank you, David. Thank you, Elizabeth. Shelby Mustang. Shelby is awesome. Shelby Mustang. Simple question. What the heck did Mueller interview for head of the FBI? That's right. So Mueller interviewed for head of the FBI. Very good. Shelby Mustang. Not eligible. Term limits. Sting created that day. Explains Trump's patience. Trump's promised HRC would be in jail. Yeah, that's one thing. I think that for sure she'll be indicted. I don't even know if she'll ever serve a day in jail. I don't know, but I do think that she will be charged. Absolutely. I'm virtually certain about that. Shelby Mustang, very, 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 interesting. And also, don't get me started on the whole thing, Cuba. You don't need nobody needs anybody here. All 741 people, you were researchers before message board told you were researchers. Okay. NYT could be dangerous, yes, because the spin, but Q is a message board. At least the NYT, at least CNN actually reports things that the spin is dangerous. The propaganda is usually almost always aligned to the Democratic Party. Tamara Friedman, can you do Sessions' reaction after seeing tweet POTUS about him yesterday being MIA? Okay. How are you, Mr. President? Good. I saw your tweet yesterday. I just want to tell you, you think I'm MIA? Really? I'm in the trenches. I'm working hard. I'm in the nude. Yes. I'm going to bed. Now, I'm not trying to tell you anything you don't know. Mr. President, I'm just trying to go ahead and be honest. Well, I don't sleep in Spider-Man underoos. That's what you do. Yeah, I had a little vodka and tequila. So what? I don't care if you go ahead and insult me, but just try to be a little bit more respectful. Fine, insult me, no problem. Go ahead and insult me. I have no idea. LMNOP. It's a message board. They're asking people open-ended questions. And anything that turns up the next day is, oh my goodness. I got the next question might be, tomorrow will be sunny. Oh my God, Sonny and Cher. Yes, I know. Okay, poo-poo out. Talk to you later. Bye. Tamara Friedman. This message board is live tonight. Live.
And that just can't be. We have to have a strong Department of Justice and a strong FBI that stays out of politics. And if we don't get that soon, I think it's just going to continue to deteriorate. And I think it's like the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, said several months ago, the Department of Justice and FBI need to decide whether or not they want to be part of the cleanup crew or the cover-up crew. And so right now, I just want to be clear, they are providing slowly, but they are providing documentation. But we're going to have all of this information declassified, and we really need an investigation into these top-level people as to how somebody concocted the idea that it's okay to take information from one political campaign and use it to open up an investigation on the other on somebody else's opposing political party.
Right.
It's absolutely not.
And you've said many times on this program that there was zero evidence, official evidence, available to launch an investigation into collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians.
Well, that's James Clapper. James Clapper. You want to get into James Clapper? Let's do James Clapper. James Clapper, no evidence. Where is it? Where is this thing right here? All right. So, oh man. I guess. All right. Where is this? Oh, here it is.
Does intelligence exist that can definitively answer the following question: whether there were improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials?
We did not include any evidence.
We did not include any evidence, Chuck, because there is none. Don't be a Q, you know what. Toggle a bill gun. What better way to protect corrupt actors in and out of government than to create enmity between a reform-minded president and his DOJ? Absolutely. Absolutely. And what better way of getting away with things when you have, I mean, the media is pretty much beholden to the Democratic Party. More so than, I mean, ever. Because the media took a turn right during the Iraq War. Took a real right turn. And it's not trust anonymous. The issue is you don't trust a message board. Oh, here, don't get me started. I don't even want to get started. Okay? When you have message boards quoting Bible verses and open-ended questions where anything falls into, oh my God, this is an answer to the question, and calling people patriots, and it's not. Do you think Trump's administration uses HN? Do you think someone in Trump's administration, that is the deep state? That's what the deep state would do. You think someone trying who had altruistic intentions would use HN? They wouldn't want anyone involved with trying to find out. Like, if you're trying to take out the deep state, you don't let 20, 30,000 of your closest friends in on it. All right, hold on a second.
Does intelligence exist that can definitively answer the following question: whether there were improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials?
We did not include any evidence in our report, and I say our, that's NSA, FBI, and CIA with my office, the Director of National Intelligence, that had any reflection of collusion between members of the Trump campaign and the Russians. There was no evidence of that included in our report.
I understand that, but does it exist?
If you ask me again, I'm going to headbutt you, my giant, enormous cranium. Maximilian Battle. Heat Queen. Thank you, Maximilian Battle. Loud Citizen, the hot hate of 1,000 suns. So there you go. I mean, so that's the whole thing. So here.
Yes. Not to my knowledge.
They're lying. It's so overt. It's not even a question. We all know what's going on. But does it exist? I know. It's so overt. It's so overt. Jeff McDaniel 100. I love the super chat, HA. We love you. Thank you, Jeff McDaniel 100. Thank you. Jeff McDaniel 100. Thank you so very, very much. You know, it's thank you, concerned citizen. Thank you. You know, Jeff McDaniel 100, the interesting thing about all of this is that when it all goes down officially, we will have enjoyed the ride, or I don't know how enjoyable the ride is, but we will have been at least on the ride together. And it'll be interesting. What's going to happen? Well, I like to do this, by the way. Jeff McDaniel 100, everybody. So check this out. Midterm polls. How sweet it is. How sweet it is. Democrats up 3.9. Okay. Ain't gonna work. Democrats need a blue wave. The whole thing with a blue wave, it's not a blue puddle. It's not a blue ripple. It's not a blue little tiny little pebble in the lake. You need a blue wave. You need 23 seats in Congress, 435 seats. You need to get 23. In addition to keeping all the seats you have, they have 190 or so. You need 23. In addition to keeping everything you have. Ain't going to work out. You need momentum. You need unity. You need a vision. They don't have momentum. They don't have unity. Let's not trust the polls. It's just, I didn't trust the polls when the Democrats were up 13, but you see, even the polls can't lie now. The polls, somewhat accurate, like a day before the election. Somewhat. Trump was only down by 3 or 4 in a lot of polls that day of the election. So he was within. It was the whole 79% chance. See, Trump can't do it. It was the poll numbers prior, weeks before the election, that were bogus. 3.9 points. Hey, Sojourner. Hey, Sojourner, I want to know what's going on with the Fed's lawsuit against the state of California. By the way, how could the California Supreme Court take the bill to separate the state off the ballot? Well, you know what? We're gonna go into that. Elliot Mallard, hey HA, I'm a huge fan. Could I have a shout out? Elliot, thank you so very, very much. Thank you, Elliot. Greatly appreciated, and thank you so much for watching this channel. And thank you so much for your kind words, Elliot Mallard. Thank you, Elliot. Greatly, greatly, greatly appreciated. One thing that I enjoy is I'm very honored that people enjoy, my work and my voice. And when it all goes down, it'll be fun. So, A Sojourner, I want to go ahead and give you the most thorough answer. But Elliot Mallard, thank you. A Sojourner, we're going to look at that in a second. Nosicle J, let's dangle a congressional seat from a helicopter and try to get Dem to stare directly into the sun. Let's do. Nosicle J. Nosicle J. Thank you. Well, Sessions actually is, I think, losing. So Judge halts deportations, threatens to hold Sessions. See, Sessions is wasting his time on this stuff, And it's instead he has to go ahead and destroy the most corrupt expose true corruption. And it's this public relations, So basically, A Sojourner, he's not doing well. He's not doing well. And so that, and I mean, if you ask me, for me, I want Dreamers to be given citizenship. Splitting up California. Supreme Court takes initiative off the ballot. I actually don't want California to be split up. Just because, well, I don't know. It would be kind of cool, but at the same time, it would be I don't know what would, Southern California would be even more liberal than anyone could imagine. And Northern California would be, well, that's the thing. You got LA and you got San Francisco. So, I mean, who knows what what happened. Loud Citizen, the only blue wave will be the Tidy Bowl. Man, washing away the DNC. Loud Citizen. Loud Citizen. Thank you, Loud Citizen. So a Sojourner on both issues, not working out for Sessions, not working out for California being split into different parts. Christy, Matty, thank you. HA, I appreciate your opinions. Thank you so much, Christy. Thank you so very, very much, Christy. Thank you. Thank you so much, Christy, Matty. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel, and thank you so much for watching. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. Alexander M. Gonzalez, 1 billionaire wanted to split Cali. Christy, Matty, thank you. Thank you, Christy. A Sojourner, thank you. That's true. That's a great point. Splitting California only makes more Democratic senators. It's true. That's true. Christy Matchy, thank you. A Sojourner, thank you. So yeah, but the citizenship would go to people without any record at all. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that we're going to call this an evening. And I want to thank everybody. I want to go ahead. Thank you so very, very much. Have sweet dreams. God bless. And thank you to my super chat. Thank you, Christy. Thank you so much. A Sojourner, thank you. So thank you, everyone. Elizabeth Luker, thank you, everyone. And have a wonderful evening. We will reconvene tomorrow. Tomorrow should be pretty awesome. Thank you so very, very much. Have a great evening.